The Emperor has foreseen a new threat rising against him. The Podwans Podcast.
One go.
Thank you for joining for wow.
Well, first podcast, Luke?
Wow.
Really? Wow.
Welcome back to another episode of the Podwans Podcast. I'm your host, Luke, with my co-host, Harith, Ryan,
What's up?
and the long-awaited return
Who is this person?
of the Messiah, big man Charlie Johnson that doesn't shut the fuck up about the goddamn Bears.
Oh my God.
But this isn't a sports podcast, so we're not going to bring it up.
We're the Chicago Bears.
Johnson.
I didn't bring it up. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you guys. Ready to talk Star Wars today.
Are you?
Wait, we're
I
actually
am,
you're
yeah.
talking Star Wars for once?
You're
You're not
talking
blowing
Star
up my
Wars?
Instagram reels right now as we're talking?
Oh God, dude, that is insufferable. You are just the worst, absolutely worst human being of all time. Like
All
it's
right.
not even close.
It hasn't been 2 minutes and you're already telling me how terrible I am.
I can't wait for the Bears to lose and you come on Gridiron Guys Tuesday to make excuses.
Oh, we
Oh,
we want
Don't just say ooh.
we
I'm
no,
not
we
talk-
actually dead ass want you next Tuesday.
Hey, you had your chance for me to. talk
Oh,
about the
see,
Bears.
now he's being
oh,
no,
I gave you a
now
days ahead
no,
notice.
time out. Either way, we are
Hey,
requesting your
Chris Webber,
presence.
you're on a timeout, pal.
Hey, Char, you got like 5
hey.
days notice, my guy.
Yeah, you got 5 days notice.
I let you guys know on Monday. I
No,
was like, hey.
for next Tuesday.
You already had guests.
We've given you we've given you notice. There's no excuse. Win or lose, you will be on the podcast.
Hey,
So-
you guys had an opportunity for me to.
You say,
Here's the
it's
switch up.
It's only on my terms, man.
You understand that the Bears, that their comeback's not going to happen back-to-back weeks, right? So you could have had a chance of me talking about that and going crazy about it.
Cool. We want you on
Or-
next
or-
Tuesday after the Rams
Tuesday.
game.
Well, whatever happens, happens. I'm not here to talk. I'm not here to talk Bears. I know you want to. I'm not going to talk about it. I only talk to people that have winning records for their football teams.
This is why. This is why. This is why this tyranny needs to fucking stop.
Anyway,
Okay.
Star Wars.
Yes. Speaking of
why I'm
tyranny, not really tyranny. This was like planned out. My whole fascination with this whole like Dave taking over for Dave and
Lynwen Brennan.
Lynwen.
Yep.
Lynwen Brennan taking over for Kathleen Kennedy is what are the fanboys are going to say now? They got what they wanted in like getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy, but now are they going to start blaming Dave Filoni for all of the bad things that happen at Disney now? Where's the narrative going to go? Like the grifters have to be like sad a little bit because that's their main money.
No,
maker.
the carrot's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, also, like, I don't want to like harp on it too much. Obviously, we'll talk about it because now it's official. But like last week, we like really went into depth with it because when it was like a rumor, because Ryan was talking about like, oh, it's gonna potentially be revealed next week. So we went like full on into the weeds of it all. And like, by the way,
Good
Ryan,
job. Good
credit
call. Good call.
Ryan. And also,
Good
by the way,
call, Ryan.
there are a lot of people in our chats going, why are you guys talking about this as a rumor? And even I was kind of a little bit in the beginning of that discussion going, I mean, we've seen this song and dance before with The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline and Variety. I don't really know. And then now it's official.
Well, and it also makes sense.
And no, it does. And that's why I even said last week, I was like, this one feels like the most reality. Like this one feels
And
like
the
makes the
funny
most
thing is,
sense.
too, this is something that's been in talks for about 7 years now. Like ever since the sequel trilogy came to a conclusion, the fanboys were just pushing for this and wanting her out of office. But at the same time, how much is it going to change? It's how much of a drastic difference is it going to make with new faces in her seat and her back being a producer, which is what made her entire career. I don't know what the changes are going to be, but I guess they got what they want, but we'll see if they actually get what they want.
I also No, go ahead,
I
Ryan.
was gonna say, I said it last week that any problems that people have with Filoni, or they shouldn't be scared of Filoni in this role. It's not going to be the
No,
Filoni that
it's
they should be scared of. It's going to be Disney that they're going to be scared of. And
Mhm.
Kennedy kind of confirmed it in her exit interview, where she's like, "I've always let me see." She says, "Quote: I remember when I came into this job, the first thing Bob Iger said to me was, 'Be bold.' I've always liked that because I think you have to be bold and you have to be willing to take risks with people and the ideas. Otherwise, you're just doing the same thing. Right now, we're in an era where companies are so risk adverse, and I get it. I hear all the conversations. They've got Wall Street to please, and I get it. But I also believe that that's what contributes to things disappearing. Ultimately, I think you have to take those chances." She's kind of calling out.
she's taking a shot. She's
Yeah.
taking a shot at Disney and being like, "Yo, y'all used to let us do whatever the fuck we wanted, and you reap the rewards."
I feel like
And
if I could
it's-
even like date it to a specific point in time. I felt like from 2015 to around I would say 2018, they were pretty like hands off the wheel. We'll let you guys take risks.
Last Jedi changed the entire.
I would not even say
thing.
Last Jedi. Like I would say like I would say yes, that was probably the starting point, but like
Oh, that was
Last
definitely the
Jedi, a
starting
little bit
point.
of like, because remember Black Panther for the longest time was getting a little bit of pushback, and then that finally came out, and then that was like a little bit of a success, and then it was like Captain Marvel and that kind of stuff, and then Solo, and then that's what started pushing them
Well,
more
that's
to
not-
less
that's not-
risks.
that's
Pace
not-
thing too.
see,
There's a whole pacing thing too, because from 2015 to 2019, we got a Star Wars film every single one of those years. So they were very like, there was no limitation to what they were able to do besides like, okay, well, don't make this content yet. Save this for, the next decade. Save this for future projects. Save this for whatever it be, like the Mandalorian series or Kenobi or for Andor. But the limitations weren't as bad as they were then. But I'm just, because I know that her last few projects are going to be Mando and Grogu and then Starfighter for Lucasfilm.
Yeah, officially.
officially,
And then I feel like if any of these, obviously we'll talk about it later, but any of these projects that are currently on hold come out, I feel like her name will be attached as a producer of some type.
I will
oh
say
yeah, 100%.
the risk aversion started maybe 23 or 24 in reality, because I think a big thing with all these streaming projects was that there was a shitload of money to go around.
No, there's not
interest
so
rates
much.
for loans were practically at zero. They could do whatever they wanted. There was there was a streaming bubble just ready to pop, but everybody was putting everything into streaming, so they had the opportunity to do whatever the hell
Correct.
they wanted. And then that's kind of start to dry up over the last couple of years, and I think that's where
And then I will
gotta
also
make money, gotta please Wall Street, gotta please the investors.
I will also place some of it on, like, I agree, I think it's streaming bubble as well, but I'll place some of it on like Marvel, where I feel like they were kind of scared to take like some risks, and then when they did take risks and they didn't quote unquote do well, even though I think it was more on Marvel's ability to market it than actually the merit of the projects. I feel like that's when they started panicking and just started going, let's just do Chris Evans. Let's bring in RDJ. Like I think it's just like that kind of. I think that was when the
They're
shift happened. It
trying
was
to
like
catch-
it was like the Bob Chapek era coming back into the Return of the Iger era.
They're
Mhm.
trying. They were trying to catch lightning in a bottle again.
Yeah.
And they just haven't been able to find that, Disney as a whole, in quite some time. And I kind of agree that they need to let these creatives do their thing, because that's
Yeah.
where we get some of the best storytelling. George wasn't limited. George didn't have to answer to anyone, and that's why the movies
Well,
were
like-
what they were.
I feel like this applies both to Marvel and Star Wars, but Disney as a whole. I think they're honestly at their best when they're like what Kathleen Kennedy just said, like when they're bold and willing to take risks and just really go for it. Like Andor, for example, I know everyone's talked about that to death and beats that one over the head, but like I don't know, it's just like I'm tired of like Disney as a whole just kind of going back to like was just whatever worked years ago, because like we're even seeing that in Star Wars, like with Mando and Grogu. While I think that's like a smart safe play, it's still kind of like you guys are the first theatrical movie since Rise of Skywalker is just a Mando season and a half. Like,
So you think they're resorting to an original blueprint?
yeah, it's like I feel like
Not
they're just
changing it
kind of
up.
they're not changing it up. I just feel like they're just kind of like they need. I think Disney's just in this hole where it's like, we need $1 billion for sure makers, and we're just going to do whatever is the safest. Because like Ryan, when we were talking about like last week, Char, obviously we weren't here for that discussion. We were talking about we felt like the Hunt for Ben Solo was kind of Disney's first pushback on Lucasfilm and kind of them taking risks. Because remember, we were talking about how like Kathleen Kennedy for Andor had to fight hard for that project to even get made. But for Hunt for the Ben Solo was the first time where everything was ready to go. They had the script, they had the budget, they had everything ready to go. They had the director, everything was picked out. I mean, the entire cast was probably casted, but they don't obviously can't talk about it because NDAs. And then Disney shot it dead at the 11th hour. And we feel like that was kind of their first.
She literally said that Steve Soderbergh and Adam Driver turned in a script written by Scott Burns. It was great. Anything's possible if somebody's willing to take a risk.
Yeah, she probably
And
acknowledged the movie.
I think
And that's another calling out Disney.
I think so too. I think Disney needs to isn't their biggest thing like let's create memorable stories, right? Isn't that like their biggest thing? Like they're retroactively going against that in a way, if you know what I mean. Like we're not with all of these remakes or live action remakes of stories, like you can't come up with something original anymore. And it is what it is, but I'm very, very fascinated to see what the grifters cling on to now.
I feel
because what I think is what's going to happen is, but since Filoni is going to have, like he's going to, because I'm under the impression that him and is it Lynwen Brennan?
yes,
They're gonna like be co-presidents essentially.
No, that's literally what's happening.
President and retaining his CCO role. Brennan, she is going to be co-president.
Yeah, one's handling creative, one handling financial, basically. It's kind of what.
So I'm under the impression that the fanboys are going to think, well, since Dave Filoni has control now, that he's going to have some sort of link to having some enforcement over bringing in George for projects and stuff, which I don't think that's the case at all. Yes, George likes to be involved sometimes, but he doesn't want to be in charge. George hasn't wanted to be in charge since 2012. The moment he signed the company away to Bob Iger, he doesn't want any sort of creative prowess.
I don't think George is so old. We forget how old he is.
He's what?
Like,
he's what? 82 now.
Dude, George is busy in retirement, opening museums and donating to schools. He has better things to fucking do right now.
Yeah. I don't think he wants to come on set and take charge. I just don't believe.
Also, I don't think really anything has changed since Filoni's already retaining his CCO role. Lynwen has already done stuff on the business side. I mean, Kennedy's even referenced her as like being her like right hand, like on the business side, like kind of helping her on that end. Basically, with Kennedy stepping down, there's no middleman between Filoni and Lynwen and Disney. Basically, like I don't think anything necessarily changes other than there's nobody with Kennedy's influence and power and connections to be able to kind of get some of these projects going.
Which is what was our concern last week was I felt like Kathleen Kennedy had that kind of, Char, you would call it, we not to jokingly say it, like she had that like aura about her where she could go into a Disney boardroom and be like, we're going to make this project because of her track record and her resume of what she's worked on from like the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. She had that ability to tell Bob Iger, you guys need to make this, and he would listen.
See, here's the thing, Kenny. This isn't a rumor anymore. It's coming directly from Lucasfilm that she is stepping down.
Like in the description of the stream, I legitimately linked the Deadline article like that. We source it.
And they also came out on their social medias and announced it as well. So this is happening. This is a real thing. Like there's nothing to be like real scared of. Kenny, it's on their freaking Instagram.
Yeah, check Lucasfilm Instagram. It's on Star Wars.com.
It's on StarWars.com, dude.
And also in the article, Kathleen Kennedy starts with, "This has been planned for about 2 years now," was like the opening tagline.
This is her making the choice. If anything, it's her making the choice of doing it. And she even says it in the article. She says, "I want to just go back to being a producer, like working with people, freelancing and doing things on my own. You know, like that's kind of, it's not a none of this honestly should be a negative. This should all be, hey, this is planned out. This has been in the works for a while. Like, this is where, like, the company's in good hands. Like, yes, does Dave have some issues with writing? Yes. But, like, creative and coming up with ideas, you can't find anybody better. Right? Like, you can't.
She's one of the most prolific producers and executives in Hollywood.
100%. She's the reason
Probably
why
of all time.
Jurassic Park got made.
Right, like we went over it last week. We listed like off a billion projects that she's made, and like if you like look at like the top grossing movies in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, her name's on it. 9 times out of 10.
It's funny because one of my favorite movies is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and that's her first ever actual acting credit.
I was gonna say
she was one of the dancers in the intro for the movie, which is like I found this out about not even a year ago, and that's one of my favorite movies growing up. And then I found out, like, she was in there, like she was dancing. So that was a fun thing. But like to know that like her history of involvement with Lucasfilm and what George has done, and even with Steven Spielberg and all of the works in the past 40, 50 years, like she has such a credited resume when it comes to getting stuff done.
Yeah,
and I mean, people can see this as a negative. People can see this as a positive. And I know that people that, the community that will guarantee to see this as a positive are going to find a way to flip it on its back.
Right. I think the grifters are going to grift it and then like act like this is their Super Bowl, and then they'll internally, not on camera, be like, "Fuck, what's the carrot now?"
No. What? No, they'll go. Oh, Mando and Grogu, Dave betrayed us.
No, I'm saying on camera they'll act like this is their Super Bowl victory. Off camera, they're gonna go, "Now what the fuck?" And then they'll pivot to like Dave Filoni or someone else. They'll pick somebody else.
They'll pivot. They'll pick on it. But
and then I feel like on the not the Star Wars TikTok side of things, I think we're just kind of gonna be like realists about this and be like, it was a reality coming. It was been planned for years. It's just like it felt inevitable. Honestly, this isn't a bad thing. Like, shit happens. She's fucking in her late 60s, early 70s at this point. Like, she's getting up there in age. It's like, so it's like, okay, like
she's allowed to have a life,
right?
Just like the rest of us.
I'm just glad she went out on her own terms.
100%. She wasn't pushed out by any means. I don't think she was pushed out. I don't think she was forced out.
And
I think she made that decision on her own.
Shifting to like a topic that's like still in this like adjacent articles and like that kind of stuff, and obviously the title of the stream. What the fuck is going on with these projects that are now like, because Kathleen Kennedy also in like the Hollywood Reporter article is just like, that's on hold, that's on hold, that's on hold, and you're just like, and it's like, damn.
We can go down the list. Actually, I had wrote something and recorded a video that before this I hadn't posted, but I have a list of basically everything that was listed here if we want to kind of go over it.
Yeah, read them off.
The first one was James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi. She said, quote, Jim Mangold and Beau Rillimon wrote an incredible script, but it is definitely breaking the mold and it is on hold, and later confirmed it is on the back burner. So that's the first one.
Because it breaks the mold. Look at that. It's going to do something different and it's gonna ruffle feathers. And that's what I want for an original Star Wars movie.
Right.
Look at the original trilogy. They did shit that they never thought was possible.
Look, I'm gonna piss off grifters and like people around the world. Like, I honestly want it to be like a Last Jedi. I want it to like stand on business and like be like, this is something different. And whatever happens, happens.
With that movie, I if I'm Dave, I want that. I want that. I want my name. I want that to be my first real true project. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, because like I said last week, he wants something that is going to be equivalent to George. He's always been known as the apprentice to George. He wants to succeed so badly that I feel like if he's just looking for that project to put his stamp on Star Wars, if that makes sense. Like Mando is sort of like his stamp, but let's be real, that's more Favreau's thing than Dave's. I think it's been openly
Well, like,
talked about.
I feel like
Absolutely.
the Mando movie will be his first stamp, but like as a advisor, because what we talked about, like, sorry, I'm just like recapping a conversation last week. Me and Ryan like very much compared this to James Gunn and Peter Safran at DC. Like that's how we imagine it going. It's going to be a very similar relationship where Filoni's going to be in these creative rooms and being more of an advisor and helping like teach up these directors and writers and just giving them like kind of general Star Wars advice. Well, I forget her name. Sorry, I'm so bad on this. The co-president is going to be more on the financial side of it, being the more Peter Safran side, like helping broker deals with Disney and like getting budgets and that kind of stuff, and working on the technical side of
Getting
it.
characters. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that Mangold movie is so fascinating. Like when it got announced in London, I was like, yes, that's something that I actually want to see
Well, of like
because it's
at
the very beginning.
at the time when, not to be like vindication, but when that got announced, I was like, my logic went, okay, the Filoni movie's gonna come out first.
Now that's on the back burner.
Again, that's on the back burner, which is what I was thinking at the time. I was like, the Rey movie's probably gonna come out second, and then Dawn will come out third, which that still could happen in that. It still doesn't think it's gonna happen in that order. Rey maybe come out first now because of it depends on how well John Levy movies
Did
does
she
now.
talk about it? Did she talk about that?
She did not talk about it in the interview, but Daisy
Okay, that's
Ridley
right.
recently, as like a month ago, when promoting her
Yes.
current movie, has talked about it.
Yeah, she has talked about it. She said that
so
there
it's
is a script, but there isn't any scheduled time for shooting.
Yeah,
Because I
As of yet.
guarantee you, they're waiting on to see how Starfighter
Mando
does,
does.
so they
Or
can make the
Starfighter,
move
yes.
on post of Rise of Skywalker content. Because I guarantee you, if it doesn't do well, they'll just shift it to Disney Plus quietly.
So next one, Taika Waititi, quote, Taika has turned in a script that I think is hilarious and great. It's not just my decision, especially when I've got a foot out the door.
I don't think it's talking about talking
Pour
about taking
one out for
swings.
Taika.
Yeah, I think that one's
I'm just
dead
surprised
on
that apparently there is a
arrival.
script, because she made the comment, I think, earlier last year when this
She was
news
waiting on a script. I remember that.
She
Yeah.
pointed out that like Taika's taking his time.
Yeah.
So
I
Like,
feel
what
like
do you think the concept was or
I have
is?
no idea. It could be literally anything because it's Taika.
mhm.
I think it's gonna. I think it would be in more of the tone as Thor: Love and Thunder, and people hate.
Well, I don't think it would go with that. I mean, there are certain movies where like, yeah, his humor is turned up to 11.
Well, we know what Taika's directing is in Star Wars. Look at the last episode of season one of The Mandalorian. I think it's gonna be more closer to that in tone.
Well, that was directed, not written.
True, but like there was a lot of Taika-isms in that episode, especially that opening scene that just screams like a Taika Waititi. Like if you watch any of his films, that is a Taika thing.
Yeah. Char?
Oh yeah, sure. You have anything?
Oh no, I mean, this is the first I've heard about the Taika Waititi situation. Like,
Oh, the reason why I'm like confident that the Taika movie won't happen, and I want it to happen. Don't get me wrong. Disney's gonna like go, no, Thor: Love and Thunder didn't do so well, so they're just gonna quietly push off of Taika, which I think is bullshit. I think Thor: Love and Thunder has nothing to do with Taika. I think it was more of the Marvel method at that time, and like their issues to like not work well in pre-production and like overemphasis on fixing it in post. And Marvel, because it's weird, like they always have this feeling where they always want to be tapped into the fandom at large, and don't let creatives kind of their voices shine through. So I feel like Love and Thunder really wasn't on Taika's ability, but it was more on Marvel as a whole at that time. So I think it's bullshit. I think Taika's movie should come out because I think Taika actually would do extremely well in a Star Wars film. Like I said, look at the last episode of Mandalorian. Like that was a fucking phenomenal episode. But Ryan, what's the next project on the docket?
You confirmed that Donald Glover has turned in a script for the Lando movie that was originally announced as a show. I think it was last year. Maybe it was confirmed that it got changed into a movie, and that Glover and his brother were working on the script. So apparently there is a script turned in. She later said regarding that, I think the ones by Taika and Donald are still somewhat alive. That's going to really be up to the new team to figure out.
mm-hmm.
Then she talks about the Ben Solo script. We talked about that. Then the next big thing was Simon Kinberg's trilogy. She said, quote, he's working right now. He wrote something that we read in August, and it was very good, but not there. We've pretty much up into the story and then spent a great deal of time on the treatment. She finished literally about 4 weeks ago, and it's a very detailed treatment, like 70 pages. And so he's expected to give us something in March. Then she later said, Dave, I know that Dave and Lynwen are very much on board with what Simon's doing, and that would be a new trilogy. In the timeline of things, that takes you well into 2030 plus. So that's really what's up next.
To me, Kinberg's trilogy seems very likely because people forget Kinberg was a very creative voice on Rebels season 4. And everyone likes, when everyone talks about Simon Kinberg, they always jump to Dark Phoenix. Like that's everyone's always first instinct and first like, and then they'll all even jump to Last Stand because he was a writer on Last Stand, and everyone's like, well, those two movies fucking sucked. So obviously Kinberg can't write and direct, but I always will, when the Kinberg trilogy got announced, I always push back and go, well, look at Rebels fucking season 4. He was a primary writer alongside Filoni. He's okay. He's okay once you get him in a room with other people.
I feel like he and Dave have a pretty good relationship. It's all about who Dave knows. Has Dave been a part of these discussions with James Mangold? Has he been a part of these conversations with Sean Levy? Has he been in conversations with all of these other creatives that want shots at Star Wars? That's going to be their main contact. And maybe the last 2.5 years has been Kathy being like, all right, Dave, this is what I have been approached with. This is what we're thinking of. This is going to be your, and damn it, what is her name? Can we just splat it on
Lynwen Brennan.
Lynwen Brennan. Like this is your guys' jobs now. We're going to give you a little bit at a time to see how much you can prove yourself. And there we go.
Yeah.
I think that's where it is. And hopefully Dave still has, again, and not for me, that James Mangold movie does make a lot of sense to me to have it be kind of something that does take a little while to get off the ground, because you don't want to be the person that starts it. You know,
and the other thing I wanted to touch on as well, outside of the projects on hold, the other things I was seeing on threads and I saw in the Hollywood Reporter article was Kathleen Kennedy just started dropping names that she was talking to for potential projects, and I was like, there were some names where I was like, huh?
Yeah, Robert Fincher,
Vince Gilligan, Alex Garland,
Vince Gilligan. Oh man.
Specifically Vince Gilligan for TV, obviously, but I think David Fincher for movies.
Oh yeah, recently I've seen a bunch of David Fincher stuff. Halloween time I watched Seven for the first time. I was like, Jesus, like David Fincher is he's so good at suspense.
Yep.
Like if you want to have a horror movie or any sort of dark elements to a movie or a TV show, like David Fincher's the guy. Like, I also watched Gone Girl. Like, have you ever watched Gone Girl?
Gone Girl's
Ben
good.
Affleck. That's what David Fincher did too, and he's just so good at just having you back in your seat. Like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
there's always a twist, and there's always some crazy moment that happens. Like David Fincher, you know, the scene from Seven. Like, what's in the box? Like,
Well, in the fact, well, also think about this, Char. What is Star Wars been missing over the last 10 years?
horror.
Suspense.
Andor
Like the
had
shock value.
Andor had a little bit of suspense.
Andor had a little bit of it.
Allegedly, at least in terms of horror, allegedly there is a horror show being worked on. Let me look at while y'all talk. Let me see if I can find.
Oh yeah, I remember that getting announced like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
Or
like it got,
rumored.
I think like Gilroy like kind of just dropped it randomly.
Oh,
it-
also, can we
Kind of.
can we bring up and finally put to bed that Dave Filoni loves or likes Andor? Like
And
Tony Gilroy came out and said, "Dude, without Mando, you wouldn't have gotten Andor. Like there is no us without Mando," and basically putting it to bed. Like the fact that people try to pit us against each other is childish. It's like that's not exactly
Do people
how this
genuinely
relationship
believe
is.
that Dave Filoni didn't like Andor? Did they genuinely believe that?
Yeah, because people jump to
'cause
conclusions.
They were told.
There was a rumor, I don't know where it started, that mentioned that there were higher ups or just people who worked at Lucasfilm who did not appreciate the reaction that Andor got because because of how they saw the projects that they worked on,
Mhm.
because of how people treat the other projects after Andor came out, whatnot. No names were attached. Nobody said anybody specifically, but for whatever reason, people's immediate thought was Filoni. And they will cite those rumors as the reason why that Filoni doesn't like Andor. But then you ask them, it's like, hey, where did the rumor mention Filoni? They're like, oh, I guess it didn't.
Yeah, it's people trying to jump a narrative that doesn't really exist. And like for all we know, it could be some higher up executive who works behind the scenes and just didn't like Andor because they think Star Wars is not gritty or whatever. Like whatever the fuck they were thinking of Andor. Like it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And like I said, higher executive. That could literally be anybody. But no, yeah, like the names that are like popping out to me, like obviously David Fincher already knew about, because I think he was talking about it when the Hunt for Ben Solo came out. I think he said like, oh yeah, I talked to Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. It just didn't really go. It just didn't go through. The one that jumped up to me and Char had a little bit of reaction was Vince Gilligan. That was the name I went. God damn! Imagine if they could just get him in a room.
If we have Vince Gilligan, we're for sure taking a trip to New Mexico. That's a guarantee.
Well, it's like I know everyone's gonna be like, oh, Breaking Bad, but like people forget like Better
also
Call
his recent
Saul.
project, Pluribus.
I need to watch Pluribus. That's been on my radar for the longest time, and every time I hear about it, I just keep hearing people talk about how good it is. And then like his work on like previous shows and that kind of stuff, like people forget, like, because people will always just associate it with the Breaking Bad universe, but no one looks at like Vince Gilligan's previous works, and he's just been consistently great throughout his entire career. So it's like, and plus I forget I think there were a couple references, like not like just like traditional pop culture references to Star Wars and Breaking Bad, like actual like deep cut stuff in there too. So like Gilligan is a fan. So it's like, just goddamn, that would, just the possibility of that. I don't think it's gonna happen because I think he's just too busy with Pluribus at the moment. But if he could just get a break for one limited series, a movie, oh my god, we'd be fucking eating right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, what was the next couple things? Or is
So
that pretty
obviously
much
she
it?
doesn't mention the new Jedi Order movie, but in the Hollywood Reporter article, they reported that apparently Dave Filoni's Mando crossover movie is on the back burner.
Yep.
The way it's worded in that article is kind of weird. Nobody else is saying anything. It wasn't brought up in Kennedy's exit interview.
But also, I kind of trust Hollywood Reporter because they do have a lot of good sources.
I was gonna say they are a trade, but it still feels kind of just like a random, like it is like a few words and then nothing else, no elaboration. Like obviously, I know who needs to do Ahsoka season 2, and now with this role as president, like obviously not
Is he gonna have time? Is he gonna have time?
Well,
to get
it's like, does it shift the point a little bit further? It's just like, okay, are we gonna get another season of Mando in? Are we gonna get another season of Skeleton Crew in before then? It's like,
is Favreau directing that movie instead? Like, is Filoni going to continue writing it, but is he going to push that duties to somebody else?
or is it like they want to like keep the Mandoverse going for a little bit? Because like when they announced it, it sounded like the finale to that entire
That's what it sounds
series
like.
of movies. So I think they just want to like, okay, we're gonna let Jon Watts have another go at Skeleton Crew. We're gonna let. I don't think they're gonna do another season of Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka's gonna be 2 seasons, and then we'll jump straight into like. I don't see it going for another season.
It depends. Depends on what the story the story takes us.
I mean, I could be proven wrong, but it does feel like it's kind of setting that up.
All I'm saying is, Ewan McGregor showing up as Obi-Wan, I swear I will cry.
I mean, you said it right after the finale was over. Like you would like a minute after the finale was over, you're like, Ewan McGregor's going to show up in Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah, I hope I'm right. Probably not, but who cares?
I hope you're wrong.
I mean, why would you think you're wrong? Like, Mortis is clearly going to be a factor. We know Hayden's coming back. They already announced that.
I think we would have heard it by now.
I don't know. Maybe
You know what I mean?
I feel
Like we like every
maybe
single,
they're like
every
waiting to
single-
announce it closer too, because we are just in 2026. Maybe I think Hollywood
I mean,
Reporter's waiting for a couple months before the
Ahsoka
show comes out.
later this year, correct?
Yeah,
allegedly, we'll see.
Mhm.
Allegedly, yeah, allegedly.
but it was
I
a part
mean,
of the Disney Plus like coming in 2026 thing. And
Yep.
Lucasfilm can be good at times with keeping secrets. They did
100%. I mean, look at next week's episode. They held that pretty secret.
I mean, people had their theories, but like there was nothing that actually leaked.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, besides the fake one where they were like, "Oh my God, Plo Koon's gonna show up," and that was perfect marketing. Perfect marketing on that point.
Plo Koon was right there, baby. My favorite and only Keldor that I know. He's right there.
What was the other?
As
is that
far
it?
as I think that is it. The rest of the interview, I mean, it's a really good read. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy talks about her experiences in the industry. She talks, she was asked about, Ryan Johnson returning, and she isn't 100% confident with that because she feels like Ryan Johnson was actually kind of spooked by the reaction of The Last Jedi, even though he might want to return. And that's she actually kind of goes on to that, that when people come into the space, I have every filmmaker and actors say to me, "What's going to happen?" They're a little scared.
100%. And you know what? And you know why that is? It's because the goddamn company doesn't come out and fight these fuckers from the very start.
mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And they still haven't learned their lesson.
No, like I feel like the best was still Kenobi. I thought that was, but Ewan himself had to come out and fucking start it.
No. But here's the thing. That wasn't that. You think Disney was out there saying that shit?
No, it was Ewan.
Ewan took that upon himself and was like, "No, that's not what I represent."
That's not what Star Wars is. Again, I recommend actors in these type of big projects fucking become producers. If you have the fucking like weight of a Ewan McGregor, be a producer.
100%.
They can't fucking stop you if you do that type of shit. Because guess what? You're a producer on the project. You have just as much weight as the other executives in the room.
Yeah, 100%.
Kennedy also said, "I'm honest, especially with the women that come into the space because they unfairly get targeted. I don't try to
Damn right.
and I emphasize that it's a very small group of people with loud megaphones. I truly do not believe that is the majority of the fans, and I think we're also in this
100%.
world of where bots can affect things. You have to develop a tough skin. That is exactly right. That's what you have to do. You can't make it go away. All we can do is put our heads down and do the work and believe that we're doing the best we can, telling the best story we can. And if somebody gets really nervous about it and doesn't want to do it, I say, then don't do it because I can't tell you this won't happen."
Okay, at least Kathleen Kennedy is like
100%.
hoping her eyes to reality, while Disney right now is just fucking bending the knee left, right, and center to these fucking grifters with megaphones. Because you have like obviously we know about the Star Wars fans, the Accolade situation, and then fucking you have right now Marvel Comics with them renaming Miles Morales to fucking Spin for some goddamn reason.
I saw that. I didn't see much into it. I saw one comment. I was like, wait, what? I didn't look further into it, and I kind of hate
And then
that.
like you have obviously like Ironheart getting like season 2 getting canned. It's like I don't know why Disney's in this kind of spin of like we're just gonna bend our knee constantly to these megaphone people.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of didn't understand Ironheart. Like the concept is interesting. It was okay.
I think it was. I don't know if it's the comic. It was kind of the technology and magic combination was kind of like
Yeah.
in her comic or what, or if that's something they decided.
It wasn't badly
Right.
made. The story just didn't work for me, and I think that's like kind of essential if you're gonna do like something like that. It needs to kind of grab you.
But no, my point was is like I dropped that in there because it's like it's very much following that train of thought. Hell, they're doing the same thing with Wonder Man right now, where they're just quietly dropping all the episodes at once because they're scared that grifters are gonna blow up about it.
They did that with Echo. They did that with
The Echo pissed me off as well because I thought Echo actually was the same quality as Born Again, but they just kind of fucking shoved it under the rug as fast as humanly possible because they want people talking about it.
A lot of these shows are also the issue of like we're being told by Disney we need to greenlight a bunch of stuff. So let's figure some stuff out, even if it's not necessarily if we have the money to do it, or if it's not a story that we necessarily want to tell. Echo ended up being pretty good. I put 100%. That up way too long. I know for some of that stuff, I'm not necessarily against a release all at once binge model.
Yeah. Right.
But you still, I think you do have to properly market it.
Right, like Wonder
100%,
Man's
you
barely
know?
getting any marketing right now outside of like the occasional commercial during like college football, and that's it. That's all you're seeing really for it.
But the premise itself is
Oh
interesting.
no, it's fucking it's
meta
fascinating.
commentary on superhero fatigue. I mean, that should be that.
They should be pushing that hard right now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's the big news in Star Wars.
You said you had something about First Song Ice and Fire. I know I saw something come out from.
George just basically came out and said, "Yeah, me and Ryan Condal used to be buddies, not anymore." Yeah. Apparently there was.
So we're just confirming that he doesn't like House of the Dragon season 2. He basically just said
100%.
great.
No, he literally said, apparently on a call with Ryan Condal and some executives, he said, this is not my story anymore. Like, this isn't what I signed up for. And apparently HBO had to kind of separate the two because there were so many disagreements between the two that HBO was like, all right, George, give us some of your ideas, send it to us, and then we'll give it to Ryan. Like, trying to play middleman, trying to like make it work.
Fuck?
And it just hasn't.
I was gonna say, mind you, I'm not big into Game of Thrones. I'm not like I've watched House of the Dragon, into it for the most part as a casual fan, but from what I was reading, to my understanding, it took HBO way too long to get to that point.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Honestly, and I think this is why Knights of the Seven Kingdoms that comes out on Sunday will be. I think this will do numbers, not House of the Dragon numbers, not Game of Thrones numbers, but it will be more like something that the fans are used to.
I also feel like it's not going to have a huge start. I think it's going to be a show that like quietly drops, and then people are going to talk about it, and they're just going to keep talking about it, and then it's just going to pick up steam.
It's going to drop pretty quietly because, there's a specific event happening on Sunday night. But I'm still going to watch. It's going to be a great show.
And it seems like it's something that George is also very, very much into.
100%.
But like,
he's so excited.
But seems very excited.
Going back to House for a split second, I have like two things on this really. First, with the Ryan Condal thing, I remember like during season 1, even people were kind of making fuss about Ryan Condal. I think mainly in like his relation to his characterization of Damon. I think was what people were getting pissed off about.
Oh,
I remember that being a big talking point, and like the Twitter space.
Was it mainly like specifically with like him and like
Lena?
Him and Lena, and like how
and the kids, and how they cut out a scene where he was consoling them after
he was like
died.
saying like Damon is a monster and that there's like no sympathy for him and that kind of shit. It was like it was very black and white, which I feel like is not. Damon's a fucked up character, but like he has his fucking charming qualities
it was
to
like
him.
Some like stuff that was happening at Harrenhal in season 2 that he had problems with.
No, it was all season 1 stuff from what I was hearing.
Oh, okay.
Blood and cheese. Remember?
Yeah.
He said that he did not like Blood and Cheese because of the way it took away agency for some of the characters that weren't there, in the inaccuracies, and now hindsight, getting more information about it, the fact that HBO is okay with him talking about this
It's crazy to me.
but it kind of seems like HBO's like, yeah, we see where we fucked up.
Mhm.
You're probably right.
It's almost like, I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm not trying to take someone's job away, but like it's almost like Ryan Condal has had all these issues since the very fucking beginning of House, and they probably should have removed him after season 2, and that would probably solve most of the problems.
It's also very telling that the other showrunner only signed on for that first season and said, "Peace, deuce."
Well, also like
I'm not gonna be a part of this.
The other thing I was gonna talk about, like, because like
which is really, really sad, because this story deserves so much, especially with how much the dragons are involved. Like, this is where they should have went full in on George's stuff, his weirdness, like the whole just stuff that George had put in that story, and it's like Ryan's like, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that.
Well,
and that's
Yeah.
That's fine.
And the thing
But
I'm getting
still,
flashbacks to is when after season 4 of Game of Thrones, when George was kind of quietly coming out during the heydays of Game of Thrones, being like,
Yep.
yeah, their ability
Lady
not to bring back
Stormheart.
Catelyn Stark is why I kind of said deuces on that show and fucking
Well, and Dorne.
yeah.
And JJ has talked about it multiple times how D&D fucked up the Dornish.
Right, because he was
So-
like, because his like analogy was like, obviously they ended up doing it with Arya, but he was like, the viewers need a character to represent the revenge of the Red Wedding and kind of be that outlet for the audience to fucking get revenge and have that like they're because like Game of Thrones fans and Song of Ice and Fire are bloodthirsty fans, and it's like you need someone to represent the viewer and their anger of what's going on in the story.
So here's the other biggest thing, and this is what I'm really excited for. Aegon's Conquest. It could either be an HBO show, a series, or a movie. And I'm
vote for movie.
towards more movie because there's not much
Well, here's
on there that you can make multiple seasons. You can make that movie into a 3.5-hour movie.
I disagree. This is what I would do with Aegon's Conquest. I said it on a Twitter space, and everyone was like, this is fucking genius when I said it out loud. You treat it like Dune Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 is the Six Kingdoms,
100%.
and it
That's
ends
what-
with him
that's
building
what
the
it is.
Iron Throne. Part
Dune, I don't
2
know.
is his conquest of Dorne and how much he fucks up and like the aftermath of all of it and his slow descent after his fall and his that's how you do it.
No, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about a Dune-esque like
Yeah,
like
because Dune
states
Part
and
2, like I like even like if you look at it from that lens, like his conquest of Dorne is very much like the second half of Dune, where it's like more of the action and more of the craziness and the political dwelling and that kind of stuff. Like there's more of a story there, while Part 1 is more of like the
just taking out
establishing
the
everything and setting the backdrop, like Dune Part 1, where it's like setting all these pieces in play, while Part 2 would kind of give you more of the Game of Thronesiness and all of, like the kind of typical traits.
And you're telling me and you're telling me that
Oh, plus,
You
you also want
wouldn't
to
wanna
fucking see
see
that dragon on the fucking big screen?
Balerion?
Balerion, the Black
Balerion,
Dread on the big screen on IMAX? Holy fuck.
that'd be sick as shit.
I need to see that in the fucking, like in a true IMAX theater.
Honestly, I would go with either. I just want to see that time period. I
No,
think
but
that
like
time period
movie is how you do. How do you split this into
Yeah,
a 6-episode series? You
You don't.
can't.
You don't. You don't have enough to make it multiple seasons.
Yeah, 1 2.5 hour movie, 1 3 hour movie. Fucking perfect. No notes.
Arya is the thought of doing the sequel to Game of Thrones. I think that makes the most sense. Do I like it? Yeah, I'm impartial about it. If the story's good, awesome. Would love to see Arya back again. But I think they need to go more back instead of forward
For sure.
in this time period because they have so many stories that they can tell. And it sounds like so season 2 of Knights is being filmed shortly. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a 3rd season as well.
Yeah, because it's 3 short novelettes. 1 season per novelette.
Yep. So you will if you're watching this, there will be a reaction out Sunday night. Or Sunday or Monday morning or whatever. We'll do that. Haven't really gotten the gang together to figure out what we're gonna do, but that's for another day. That's your Song of Ice and Fire news.
Well, like, I will say this, and this is something that I've said for the longest time when it comes to Game of Thrones. Obviously, HBO is in a situation where they kind of want to just milk off the success of Game of Thrones and do the after show. Here's what I would do. If they really want to do, like, Game of Thrones era adjacent content, you go backwards in time and you do your prequels. And then here's what I would do for that Game of Thrones era stuff. Anime or animation of the 5 books. You do it in animation. You can even bring back some of the original actors as voice actors. Guarantee you, fucking smash success. With how much anime is taking over right now, come on, I would fucking watch that shit. Dude, can you imagine seeing, like, Dragonstone, but, like, what it's described as and like in the concept arts. Like the scale can be so much bigger. We can actually start showing off like the bigger battles and how it was described in the books instead of like having to limit it to a budget. I mean, look at like even if it was like a similar budget as like Invincible on Amazon Prime, I would be fucking okay with that. Where it's like the dialogue and stuff and some of the smaller scenes don't have as much, but they save it for the fucking big battles and that kind of stuff. So that'd be the fuck up right now. You know, Peter Dinklage would be like, I'm in.
Yeah, we'd see. But let's get into Mando season 2, episode 7.
Peak.
The Bill Burr episode is what I like to call it. Bill Burr is just so good in Star Wars. I'm sorry.
He made 3, 4, 6, 6, 7.
Oh my! I was about to say that. Like, as soon as I started the episode, and I just kept hearing 3, 3, 4, 4, 6, 7. I was like, I can't fucking escape this shit. I can't escape because they say it for like the first like 3 or 4 minutes. They say it like every 15 seconds, and then even at the end, they stick it in there like, "Oh, patient 3 or prisoner 3347 or 67 is he died mysteriously." Oh no, and you're just like, God damn.
I remember that was like that was probably one of like my favorite penultimate episodes at the time. Like just them going on this mission to Morak to get the location of Moff Gideon's cruiser, but it was such an incognito mission with them, stealing a juggernaut and getting through the Morak base. But it was also a time where, because that was back when Mando taking off his helmet was like a very, very sacred thing. And then I remember when Mayfeld popped the question, was it like, well, is it that you can't take your helmet off, or that, I can't see your face? Because there is a difference. Like,
right. And it's like, I think this episode's honestly at its best when it's just like, because I think this episode gets like insanely philosophical for like the best possible reasons. And I feel like Mayfield is like the perfect character to ask these type of questions to Mando. And Mando is kind of a pseudonym for the audience, where like the helmet questions, is the Empire really this bad to certain planets? Because depending on where you grew up, you will have certain beliefs. And I love how he like phrased it in a way where like Din will understand, because obviously he's dumbing down it for Mando of like, well, when the Mandalorian Civil Wars happened and it broke out on these planets, do you think they really signed up for this? Do you think they had a choice in this? Do you think when the Empire took over, they had really much of a choice in this? Do you think they really think the New Republic is that much better? Mm-hmm. Or did they just see it as the changing of the guard? Like, that's the shit that I love from this episode, is just like the way that they were using Bill Burr was fucking perfect. And I honestly, and like,
he's a comedian, so like you want to be able to have his relief elements
and
to
like
the character.
I've talked about this at length too. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves when people talk about comedians is people are like, oh, comedians can't fucking act, when they don't realize that comedy and drama go fucking hand in hand, because it uses the same setup and the same landing. So, I mean, look at this episode from Bill Burr. Look at fucking like Adam Sandler and his more of a serious project. Look at Jim Carrey and more of his serious project. Hell, look at fucking Jason Bateman and fucking Ozark. That is a drama series from start to finish. There's little comedy at all, and fucking Jason Bateman is arguably the best actor in that show, or one of the best actors in that show.
Yeah, the girl who's in that show is really good too. She ended up being the Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
She was really good. That was one of her first roles in Hollywood, was Ozark.
Yeah. So it's like, when people talk about Bill Burr, be like, whoa, I didn't know Bill Burr could act like this. I'm like, most comedians fucking can.
I mean, look at Will Ferrell.
Yep.
He's done comedy. He's done drama. Look at Jason Segel.
Oh, fucking Will Ferrell produced Succession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen's done. He's his show on Apple TV.
Well, Seth Rogen's one of the producers for the Boys and Invincible. Both of them. He has producer credits on.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking incredible. That's amazing.
But like, no, I just fucking like love like the tone that this episode really goes for. Like really stands out from the pack of the Mando episodes because like it has all, because you know that like the finale is next week, but like it adds a certain dread to it of like Din is
Oh,
just
yeah.
willing to do anything to get Grogu back. And plus also it's so, again, I love what the other actors have done as Din, but having Pedro be in this episode from start to finish adds a different kind of weight to the episode. Like especially like the him and like Bill Burr and like those scenes of like him with the helmet off and like you could tell like the show is able to write and direct in different ways because of that, and like it adds that kind of weight and finality to it. Plus also like I really love like the way that they were using like Fennec Shand and Boba in this episode, and even Cara Dune. I feel like this is some of the best Cara Dune has been in the show. Like they were able to like, it felt like they were just like all the shackles, because they know it's the penultimate episode, like have just come off, and they just let like all the actors and just go fucking free on this episode.
And one thing that I do recall, it's one of the very few moments where you cheer for the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
But when they were being chased down by those pirates and those TIE fighters came flying in on the bridge, that was one of the few moments where I was like, yes, yes. The only time you'll ever see me cheer.
You're
for
like,
the Empire.
yes, fascists.
Yeah, better than Din dying. Yes. on a highly volatile.
Well, also I
and
love the weight of
dangerous
when
tank.
Din is in that like grenade knife fight on the top of the cruiser and it's speeding by. This is the first time in the show where it's like he's not wearing Beskar. They get a fucking clean hit on him. He's done.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no blaster that can just bounce off of him like, and he'll be fine. No, like if he gets fucking hit at all the slightest, he's fucking toast.
But hey, but Din is a man who he maximizes what he can use. He was done shooting the gun, throws it at the guy.
Well, I also love like Din constantly yelling at Mayfeld during that fight where he's like, speed up. And he's like, bro, we have fucking bombs in the back of our truck. If we speed up, we're going to fucking die. He's like, just speed up, go. You'll be fine. Like that kind of stuff, like where Din's just like maximizing the people around him as well during that insane chase. Plus, also,
Yeah,
I was dead convinced going into the episode, because it was the Usquays. I was like, oh, it's fucking, are we getting like Hondo in here and shit? Or like, obviously we didn't, but I was like, I'm like, that was fucking first time in this show we got like hints of the Usquays and that kind of other races in Mando.
Yeah, my concise like review of this show is like it's very high stakes, but very like character defining, especially with Mayfeld. Mayfeld was like the cornerstone of the episode, but also that was the first time we saw a seismic charge since 2002.
Oh my god,
So,
fucking seismic
that was
charge.
cool.
Well, like I love like the occasional cuts to like Fennec Shand and Cara Dune where they're like, what's taking them so long? Like, and like them like constantly scouting out the places of like Fennec be like, should we just snipe these like explosives? And they're like, no, Boba's gonna handle this. And you're like, what the fuck is Boba gonna do? Like they kept like hinting that throughout the episode, like Boba got this, and you're just like, what is he? The fuck is he gonna? How is he gonna handle this with fucking Slave One? What the fuck is he gonna do? And then fucking as soon as seismic charge, you're like, oh.
Whenever I see Slave One fly in the air, I'm just like, hallelujah! Like when he was, especially in the episode prior that you guys covered, when the Dark Troopers take Grogu and he comes flying out of the air, I'm like, go! Get them!
Dude, I wouldn't even want to imagine being in the room with you, Char, during episode 6 when fucking Din takes Grogu and puts him on the Seeing Stone and he looks up and Slave One's flying. You're like, I wouldn't even want to imagine what your reaction was.
I remember that day. I still have like reviews. I was emotional. I just say that.
Oh yeah, because that's when you started making Star Wars TikTok content, was after episode 6.
Yeah, that was around the time I started making TikTok content over 5 years ago.
But yeah, like, again, obviously getting into like the final aspect before the fucking seismic charge scene with like Din and Mayfeld like going in after the Empire's like celebrating them, like, look, you guys did it. You were the only cargo ship to get through, and Ashley did it all. And they're all cheering him, and then it's like one of the weirdest scenes in Star Wars because you're just like, because you're like the characters. You're like, okay, they just fucking saved our heroes, but these are fucking fascists.
Yeah, should we be happy here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we have allowed them to get away with everything that they just did?
Right. And then
Should
like
we be okay with this? I
And
don't
then-
know.
Play along with the celebration.
and then you get
Yeah.
like Din and Mayfield going up to the door, and then Din's like, all right, Mayfield, go in. Go scan your face. It's that simple. And then Mayfield sees his executive and just turns around and is like, nope, that's my supervisor. I'm not fucking doing that. He still recognizes my face.
That's Valen Hess. He knows my face.
Well,
That whole scene was crazy. That whole
Oh
scene
yeah,
was crazy.
100%.
The
Because it felt
Operation
like-
Cinder reference.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, no, but like the fact that Din was like, fucking, I'll do it. You're just like, okay. And then like, obviously it only needed like to recognize that there's a human there, which I thought that was weird. Like I thought like it was like logging you into an Imperial base and like assigning you like your TK number and that kind of stuff.
Can we talk about why the fuck does the Empire just have a database of that tracks all of the ships? Y'all are supposed to be in hiding. like you could just get into a terminal and look up anything in the Empire database. Like, come on.
I mean, I was gonna say that's all probably still Imperial records from when they were still in control.
But to find it, but to find that because it's kind of my one complaint, to be honest with you, because we talk about the Shadow Council in season 3, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, where's Thrawn? Where are like we're scattered. Like the Empire's supposed to be scattered. Nobody's supposed to really know much about anything at
Like,
this point.
I
And
know it
just
doesn't.
seem
I know it
that
doesn't
way.
move the needle that much, but would you have preferred like Operation Cinder happens first, and then like before like Mayfield shoots him in the head, like he grabs him and like fucking like rips him and throws him on the machine and then scans him and then shoots him in the head. Like there you go.
Yes, 100%.
Like
Because then it's
that's like it doesn't really affect the
forcing
episode,
them-
but it's like a very small change. And you still get Pedro
It's-
like with his mask off and like he's still trying to get it to work, and it just doesn't go. And he's like,
Well-
"What the fuck? Why isn't this working?"
Well,
Like
I think again why it works is because it's supposed to show you, hey, he's willing to take his helmet off for anything and Grogu.
well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
You
the
still
cake
get
Grogu, like,
that
that's-
weight of that happening. You still get the scene of him being like brown eyes, like who are you? And like it just doesn't work initially. And then when Mayfield pulls out the gun, he just runs over and like slams his head on the table and like drags him over to the machine and then scans him and puts in his information and then shoots him in the head. He's like, he's right here.
Granted, I'm gonna blow my own thing up. He does have the stick. He puts it into for the chain code.
Yeah.
And that's how he's able to get in. Like that, it's not just the face recognition.
Yeah.
That's kind of the silly part. If you took out the face recognition, I think it makes.
Well, they wanted the weight of him taking his helmet off.
And
That was the
this
only
is
reason
very-
why.
And let me just say this: this is just very, very nitpicky at this point. Like honestly, I really like this episode. It's very, very fun. Like Char said, it's one of the best penultimate episodes.
Hell, it's my
of the
favorite
Star Wars
episode of the entire series.
and it does a really good job. And the fact that they made Mayfield feel like a true human and not just some scumbag, you know, like he has remorse. Like he goes and helps. He's like, "What am I here for?" And Mando's and is it Cara Dune? She says, "Oh yeah, he lost the kid. Like he's trying to find the kid."
Yeah.
And Mayfield goes, "Oh, the little green guy." Like it shows sympathy, and he used to be an Imperial officer,
Right.
and Operation Cinder changed his mind, but then it changed his mind to, hey, I want to be a gun for hire because I don't want to have an.
Well, also like it also reveals like stuff from like the previous mission in episode 6, where like when Cara Dune drags him around, she's like, "Where are we going? Like, what are we doing?" And then he sees Boba, and he's like, "Well, thank God it's not Mando."
yeah,
Like he has like a lot of trauma with working with Din.
Yep, 100%.
So like
No,
like even little things like that, where before you even get the Operation Center, it's like it's already kind of laying the seeds of before we get to him, like just basically trauma dumping on his supervisor and shooting him in the head.
Yeah, like I mean, just like what Luke said too. I mean, it can be like kind of a complaint, but the face scan is a very convenient thing. For the sake of wanting to take his helmet off. But you couldn't just do the typical like chain code
put the
thing.
stick in there,
You
chain
can't,
code.
you can't do the whole Agent Callus pinning Lieutenant List thing.
Yeah.
From
Well,
Rebels,
like that's why I give the suggestion of like you just reorder the scenes and then you have just to do like imagine like a sorry. I know I was saying this to Luke earlier before, like with like one of the statements he did. Like I imagine like one of the scenes like Arkham Knight where he like Batman grabs his thug and like slams him down on like the facial scanner and then like gets into the computer that way. That's what I was pitching essentially.
100%.
I mean, you still get the moment, like you still get the weight of everything of like Din's willing to do everything. You still get the like facial scanner, and then you still get like the weight of like Mayfield being like, well, no one saw your face anyway. Like you still get everything. It just adds that little. Again, this is mostly nitpicking. It doesn't really move the needle that much, but it's like, again, still my favorite episode in the entire series. Like none of the shit we're saying doesn't really fucking matter. This is just like on retrospective rewatch of like that doesn't really make that much sense.
Yeah.
But like,
yep.
Hell, I even love like the little moment of like once they get onto Slave One before the seismic charge of like Mayfield like shooting the explosive container like and blowing up the facility. Like really emphasizing like his sharpshooter abilities. Like this episode's just like does so much with so little time. And hell, like I love like even the ending to this episode with Din basically just restating what Moff Gideon told him in the penultimate episode of last season. Basically being like, just basically as a fuck you to Gideon, being like, oh, you think I'm not aware of what Grogu is? I know what he is, and no matter what, he's better in my hands than he'll ever be in yours. And basically be like, I'm coming for you, motherfucker.
Well, and it's also a callback to the penultimate episode of season 1.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I started with.
What I want. So it's just very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, fucking 10 out of 10 episode. Still hits on rewatch. Still best episode of the series. Could not change my mind on the season on that episode at all. Even though a lot of people will say the next episode's their favorites, 9 times out of 10, this one's my fucking favorite.
I think the one that you guys did last week was my favorite, but this one, honestly, I feel it's the same. I think what was cool is that Boba got a fresh new paint job. You know, we got enemies working together. We have Din and Migs Mayfeld putting their past aside for the greater good. Yeah, it was just a really fun moment, and I really hope we see Mayfeld again in an eventual project. Maybe we'll see him in Mando and Grogu. Who knows?
Hot take. I know I said it last week, so I didn't really restate it this week. I kind of prefer Boba's look in episode 6 over his new painted look. I don't know. The way that the armor looked coming out of the Sarlacc pit just looks cooler. Like, I like the more weathered Boba armor rather than like the freshly painted.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's
just something about, starting new. It's
I get it. It was set up for Book of Boba Fett, and like he's starting to become a changed man, but like I don't know, like I like the idea of him like wearing like his past on his sleeve and like having the damages that he affected on other people on his armor.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like him like kind of accepting his trauma as like a visualization.
For sure. All right, well, that's it for this episode. Ryan, you didn't have much to say besides the news.
Well, before y'all came on, I told Harris that like I was planning on doing the rewatch, but then the news came out on the way home from work, so I felt that. So
we'll have more to add for
I
next
will make sure to get the finale watched next week.
No, you're good.
We will have at least one guest.
Nope. I'll tell you off air.
Oh. Okay. Guess not.
Stay tuned.
We'll probably have somebody, but just not who you think.
Is it George Lucas?
Yeah, we got George Lucas, guys. Congratulations.
Actually, the newly appointed president of Lucasfilm, Dave Filoni.
Oh, yeah, we got Dave Filoni. We have that much weight, guys.
We got that. It's going to be an exclusive.
Uh-huh.
The newly appointed president of Lucasfilm. Me, actually.
Whoa, Chuck Johnson.
That's why he hasn't been on the pod, because he had a lot of paperwork.
I've been wheeling and dealing. Okay.
NDAs, baby. NDAs.
Yeah, and watching,
nobody cares about the Bears.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no one cares.
Anyway, Char, where can good people follow you on social medias?
Good people. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at CharCharJ, as spelled right
dumbass.
here.
There you go. I was about to say wrong side, dumbass.
And you can find me here at the Pod Ones Podcast, usually every Thursday, as we continue our Mandalorian rewatch leading up to The Mandalorian and Grogu and eventual Song of Ice and Fire news when it comes to Knights of the Seven Kingdoms and Hot Tea Season 3.
Yep. Ryan, where can the good people follow you?
They can find me over on Twitter and TikTok at RyanPW_, as well as every Tuesday on the Gridiron Guys, where we talk college and professional football. Maybe one day we'll get Char on there. Who knows?
Maybe
you don't want me.
maybe even this next week.
Harith, where can the good people follow you?
Well, the good people, the bad people, the in between can find me at Harith Productions on TikTok, Instagram. No. Char, we exist in the Star Wars community. There is no such thing as all good people. Let's keep that 100.
All people are good people, okay?
No, not in the Star Wars community. Not in most communities.
Huh? You have beef with Kenny?
No, I don't have beef with Kenny. I love Kenny.
Yeah. What's your problem? Continue.
Anyway, as I was saying, the good people, the bad people, the in-between can find me at Harith Productions on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. You can, of course, find me over at the Gridiron Guys. Just being depressed and sad that the Bucks are limited, Shit happens. And, I'll talk about the Bears, I guess. Luke.
All right. Anyway,
Where can people find you?
You can find me at Jedi Master Eggs on all social medias. You can follow me at you can follow us at the Pod Ones on all social medias. After Mando and Grogu, I got an idea.
Oh,
I've got an idea for a different rewatch, and I will bring it up to y'all.
there was an
Off air.
idea.
We're going to redo the Clone
Finally
Wars.
doing walking droids. Hell yes.
Yes! Cinema!
Look, you want to redo Clone Wars?
Absolutely not.
No.
Hey,
I actually jumped into somebody's
trouble.
no, I
so close.
One rewatch
Wait.
is enough for Clone Wars.
We gotta do a
Wait.
rewatch for season 2.
That's what I was going to
No.
suggest after Mando and Grogu.
That's
That makes more
not
sense.
what I was thinking.
Luke, that
That's
one
not
makes
what I
more
was
sense,
thinking.
and I was already
Luke,
thinking
well,
of
I'm
it.
curious
what is
on
it?
hearing Luke out. So
Hey, Harith, I've got one that's even more better.
Oh,
Or even
More better? That's great English.
Shut up.
Better.
And you can find me every Tuesday talking with Ryan and Harith and our good friends George and Brad on the Gridiron Guys. And maybe Char when he sacks up and doesn't decide to ghost us.
Char, you're
Luke,
going
I'm
to
stopping the game tonight. All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
it was
Hey,
nice- it was
hey,
nice
Char,
to
you get one shot, one opportunity. Don't miss your chance to blow. It's Tuesday, my guy.
Anyway, that's gonna be it. Until next week, we are going to be talking about the amazing finale, the
Spider-Man.
Rescue.
Oh,
Damn it!
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, may the force be with you
Sometimes.
always.
Oh.